This is a new angle. I'm shooting from my door because there's no electricity, and I felt like I need to share with you something for my channel. First of all, I want to ask for your apologies because of the funny background. This is a mattress and I'm sitting next to the door here. It's because there's no electricity. Second, I want to apologize because of the unnecessary noises that you might hear in the background. It's because I'm at the door and it's an evening hour. People are actually outside playing and walking and passing by. I stay close to a road. Now, straight to our point. I don't know who brought you up, but whoever brought me up taught me that when you walk out of the toilet, try to ensure that it is clean as you found it, or just make it clean. Reason being, you have to be mindful of the person who cleans it as well as the next user. That is the way I was taught. And that lesson has taken me a long way. Imagine I cannot even go to a public toilet and leave it dirty. I might walk in and find it dirty, and I will struggle. By the time I'm leaving that toilet, it is clean. Yeah, it says or speaks much about you. In this life, if only you knew the background of most of us, you won't go around hating and saying negative things about an individual. I swear, I'm telling you the truth. If you only you knew how we grew up, if you knew our history, if somebody opened a page for you to read about our life story, you will be ashamed of all the bad things you've ever done to us. Let me tell you something. A few years back, I found myself in a situation where I couldn't afford anything at all. I was living in so much debts. I kept begging right, left, and center, and it was not a good thing. People got tired of me because of my situation, and I had to man up and find a way of surviving. When all doors seemed closed, especially doors that were supposed to be opened for me by my relatives, I kept on accusing them and blaming them, but that didn't change anything. It even made situations worse. So at some point, I just learned to own my own mistakes. I had to own my own conditions and situations, and I stopped blaming people for all the things that I was going through. Not a difficult decision. And that is one step that I realized I was becoming mature. So I had to go get a job. So I walked into this church. I found this bishop. I asked the bishop if he hears of any job opportunity, then I'll be willing to work. He asked me my education level. I explained. I said I'm a Form 4 leaver. I dropped out of campus. I never completed. And right now, it's difficult to get a job without the papers. The qualifications, kind of, if you're from Kenya, you know what I'm talking about. So I knew that in church is where I will get my help. Oh, my phone was about to fall, sorry. I knew by me going to church, I will get my comfort, because church has always been a place of comfort. When you feel like you have nowhere to go to, just run to church. And for a long time, I've always believed that church is where God dwells, is the dwelling place of the Lord. So anytime you feel like you want to talk to someone, just go and talk to God in church. I know He's everywhere, but I felt like my help will come from church. So this bishop sympathized with me because of the situation I was going through. I knew the moment I left his church, I had nowhere to go because my house was closed. And so if he didn't help me, then I was gonna be homeless, foodless, and all those less. I was gonna be a less of a human being, actually. That is what I thought. So he told me at the moment he needs a houseboy in his house, the pastor, the bishop himself. So the man of God told me that he's currently sourcing for a houseboy to help him work in his house. And I said, why not? Just take me. I can take the opportunity. I'm good at cooking. I'm good at doing all those stuff. And I went to work in his house. While I was working in his house, the first few days, I noticed some few loopholes. things that never made me happy at all. And because you're just employed in Kenya, you're not allowed to tell the truth. I don't know whether it's the same in other countries. It's quite difficult to tell your employer the truth that now my boss, this and this is not right. Okay, electricity has just come back. It's this and this is not right, and this should be done this way. It's kind of difficult, especially in my country, Kenya. So there was this time, I'm not going to talk about all the bad things I went through, because at the end of the day, that is where I grew fat. Yeah, imagine me, I didn't even know the hassles and struggles these people were going through to raise money in this house so that I can be given this job and get paid every month. All I cared for was to work and work and work and wait for my salary at the end of the month. But many other things, like maybe the struggles they underwent, well, at some point it wasn't my concern. That is what happens in most situations, and that is why most employers are harsh with the people they employ, because they don't understand what they're going through to raise the money to pay them, or the money for their salaries. So one day, while I was staying in this house, one of the big girls of the house, the daughters to my employer, went to the toilet. And after she was through, she left and went into her room. So as usual, as I was doing my morning routine as a houseboy, I walk into this toilet, I find feces on the toilet. And I'm like, who used the toilet last? And the brother, I asked the young son, the last born actually in the house, he told me the person who used the toilet last was my sister. And I felt so bad. I felt like, but why did she not flush the toilet, or there was a problem in the bathroom? So I went to her straight, because I felt like, no, I cannot tolerate this, especially when it's coming from a big girl who's supposed to be responsible. At her age, she's not supposed to be doing such weird acts. I told her, I went to her room, straight into her bedroom, and I told her, you know what? Go clean your mess in the toilet, because I'm not going to clean it for you. That's wrong and it's inappropriate. That was the day I had all sorts of description about my life. The abuses I got on that particular day, I was insulted about my family. I was insulted about my situation, how desperate I am, how I'm a beggar and what. I was even reminded that I am a houseboy, and that is one of my duties as a houseboy. I got hurt. I felt so hurt. I felt offended, but I had no choice. I just went and cleaned it and closed that chapter and let life continue. I just learned that sometimes not everyone sees things the way we see them. That was so painful. Respect was lost there. I wasn't respected because this girl thought maybe she was from a rich family, and because I was just working for them, I didn't have any right to speak, right to question, right to do anything. But it was very traumatizing, this life. I remember another time again when I was still here in Nairobi. I went to look for another job again as a houseboy in a separate home. And in the process, I asked one friend of mine, I told him, you know, right now it's a tough time for me. Can you help me get a job, at least to sustain myself, to help me pay my bills, to help me even buy or put food in my stomach, because I didn't have a table. The way that we always said, put food on my table, I didn't have a table. So I had to find ways of feeding myself and where to spend the night when the sun went down. So this boy actually told me, you've come at the right time, because my sister, I stay with my sister, and she was looking for a houseboy. So I said, please just talk to her and see how you can help me get this job as a houseboy even in your house. I'm ready to do any job. So the boy went to the sister, talked to her, and on the same day I got employed. The sister was filthy rich, a very rich lady, and a very, very successful woman. She also had a very big heart of caring. She cared about everyone who came to her life. Her house was always full of visitors, I think because of the person she was. So one thing that I didn't like about this house was the fact that the boy the brother, the person who I approached to give me this job, to help me get this job, he was gay. And that was not even my concern. Like, it didn't hurt me that he was gay or what. But the things that he used to do are the things that killed me inwardly and outwardly. Because, you know, if you don't know people, like for example, when you go to the gay kingdom, I'm not judging and I'm not talking bad about them. Everyone has their own life to live, and just live it. You'll be answerable to God, each and every person. These people, whenever they see their fellow men, they always feel so much attracted, like a magnet. Like they always want to sleep with everyone, every man that they come across. That is all that is in their mind. So, several times after I had seen how this boy operates, he used to have several or multiple partners. He used to bring them in the house every now and then. And whatever hurt me the most was the fact that he always introduced me as their houseboy. Whenever he came with all these men in their houses who were actually having affairs with him, he used to lose his respect for me. Like, he would tell me, like, Devance, go to the kitchen and prepare us eggs or breakfast or lunch or what. Go to the shop, bring us this. You know, okay, because it was my duty, he helped me get this job and this was their home. I used to be respectful, I would go. But one day, I felt like enough is enough, because he was taking advantage of my situation, that I had no place to go and I had no one who cared. So he started losing respect. Even in his speech, the way he used to talk to me, the way he used to approach me, it wasn't fair. I remember there was this time when the sister really loved me. The sister really cared about me. The sister was so sorry for me. She used to pay me on time. She used to ensure that there was food in this house, and when they were eating on the table, I would also eat on the table. When they were watching TV, I will also come and watch on the TV. I will watch TV actually. She tried to put me in a situation that would make me not feel that I'm a houseboy, but rather a part of the family. And the sister, as usual, she used to leave me money for food. Every time she went to work, she used to go deep into her pockets, take off some money, and give me money for buying breakfast, lunch, and also for supper. Breakfast and lunch, it was mostly me and his brother. So I would cook enough food for the two of us. But during night hours, I would cook for all. Hello. Sorry, I was talking to my friend on phone. Guys, I'm very, very, very sorry I got distracted and I stopped shooting this video at that particular time. And right now, I felt like now that I'm back home and I'm alone, I can complete the story that I was sharing with you. Well, I don't know whether I thought I'd maybe to stop it and do another video, but let me just complete this story. I remember where I stopped. So this is actually 6 hours later from the previous recording. So when you see the environment has changed, just understand. One day, this friend of mine who actually introduced me to the sister so I could help work in the house as a houseboy, there was this particular time that he came home with this group of boys or men, and they were his friends. And you know, following the previous history of how we've been staying with them there and how he's been handling me, I felt like enough is enough. No one is going to look down upon me anymore, and that is not my name. And I have just to remind him that some things that he's doing are not correct. So I remember this particular day, the sister left me money to go buy breakfast, lunch, and also for supper. The breakfast or the money that was always being left for food was actually on a fixed budget. Like, if you overspend it on something different, you people will stay hungry that day. So here I was. Before leaving the house, here he was with his friends. And then he introduced me as the houseboy. And you know, the way he talked to me didn't make me happy, because he referred to me in a way that really made me feel offended. Like he said, Devance, kazi yako ni nini kwa hii nyumba? Like, Devance, what is your work in this house? So I said, it's just to do the cleaning and the cooking. Said, yeah, my guests are here. You cannot even serve them breakfast. You cannot do them what? Then I'm like, okay, are you my boss? And upon asking that, there's this superiority. I think it might have lied to the people, those of his friends, that he's the owner of the house. And so he became dramatic and began quarreling and arguing with me and exchanging bitter words. Generally, I didn't feel so good. And I felt like enough is enough. And I lost temper, and I found my hand acted so quick, and I punched him, and that led into another stronger fight again. So we tried fighting, and when he realized I was much stronger than him physically, he decided to use weapons. He went to the kitchen, took the gas. Normally in Kenya, while cooking, we normally use gas. This gas comes with some grill on top, grill that holds the sufuria while you're cooking. So he took that metal, very heavy metal, and threw it on me. I got so mad, but anyway, that is a story for another day. I don't want to tell you how much we fought, but when I went to the shop to go buy bread and milk, because at the end of the day, this is their home. Imagine when I came back from the shop, I was shocked to death point actually, because when I got into the house, actually the compound, I got when he threw all my things outside the house. He threw my suitcase, my bag, my clothes, everything was scattered everywhere on the public path. I felt embarrassed. I felt so ashamed. I was like, hey, God. Yani, bro, you are sending me out of the house because of a minor disagreement. Honestly, I called the sister. The sister got mad at the brother and he said, Devance, nisipate umetoka hapo. Like, Devance, let me not find when you've left that house. The person who's supposed to leave that house is my brother. Let him leave. By the time I'm coming from work, let me not find him there. So I felt like, oh, am I going to be the reason why a brother and sister are going to disagree? I just said, sorry, I was about to mention her name. I just asked her, let me just leave. Let me just go so that you guys can solve your issues on your own. Because here, the truth is that you're all fighting because of me. One person wants me to leave, the other person doesn't want me to leave, and it's not going to be a good thing. So I left. And I went to my stepbrother in school. Actually, I called my stepbrother to come help me pack, because the only money I had was that money in my pocket, the one that I was given, the balance that I was supposed to buy with food on that particular day. So my stepbrother came, helped me carry my things, and I went to the hostels in town. He was a student by then. So I took advantage and slept in the hostels because I knew no one will notice that I'm not a student. What am I trying to say? Years later, this same person who sent me out of the house, who kicked me out shamefully, who embarrassed me, who threw away my clothes on that muddy footpath. This life, when you hear me say there is a way this world balances everyone, Aish, believe me when I tell you that. Because years later, he came to me, the same person who threw my things away, the same person who insulted me. He told me, Devance, are you in NAIROBI? I said yes. Because my videos, when you watch my videos on YouTube, my life is online. So you can tell much about how I'm doing even without me telling you. If you want anything from me, if you watch my life online, you will always find a solution. Like, I find that like I live a life that I've decided to expose it on social media. That is what I chose. People have different lives, but me, I chose to live my life with the people online so that it can be an inspiration to somebody. There's no need to hide. I don't feel the need to hide things. Like, why do I hide when I'm struggling? Why do I hide when I'm enjoying? No, it doesn't make sense. Okay, everyone has their life, but that is the life I chose. So upon watching my videos, he realized that like my life was doing good and he wanted my help some time back. And I was like, you are the same person who kicked me out of your house. You are asking me for help. Really? story for another day. And that is why I'm telling you guys, when you find an opportunity to live with the people, even if that person does a disrespectful job, a job that is not respected by people, a job that people despise, respect that person. Even if it's just somebody who washes your toilets or washes your pants, your underwears, respect that person. The respect goes a long way. When you respect people, you don't know what the world has in hold for you. Because today you might be rich, thinking that you will never be a beggar. You might despise people. You might not want to listen to anyone. But for tomorrow, no one knows. This world I have lived in, I've seen people grow rich, and I've also seen people grow poor. So today you can be up, tomorrow you can be down, because the world that we live in, you cannot predict what will happen tomorrow. So before you get to that point where you're starting to beg people for help, live right with the people, so that when your time of sorrow comes, people will be there to support you, to see you through your challenge until when you're stable and you're able to move on with your life like before. Respect people. My life as a houseboy, I saw a lot of disrespect, and most of the disrespect was coming not from my employers, but it was coming from people who are not paying me for what need. Today I look at their lives, I just apologize and say, God, thank you for creating me. Thank you for that time, that period that I struggled, and I'm glad that I'm not there anymore. I would love to tell you stories, and I would really want to use this forum to share with you my stories, just to inspire you each and every day. I hope this story has inspired you in one way or another. I hope you learned something. If by any chance I have spoken something that could have offended you, forgive me. Don't take that. Just take what is positive that will actually help you build your life. But bottom line, as I end this video, learn to live right with the people, because no one knows tomorrow. Anything that you do today, tomorrow you will pay for it. When you live right with the people today, tomorrow it will bear fruits. When you live badly with people today, it is the same thing that the world will feed you tomorrow in your times of need. And until next time, always work hard and be nice to people. And remember that nothing is impossible. This is Devance Empire. End of discussion.